It's official. Tulsi Gabbard needs to send Hillary Clinton a thank you note. I strongly believe that. I was hesitant to say it yesterday with the New Hampshire poll that showed Tulsi Gabbard up at 5% over frontrunner Kamala Harris, who was much less. That poll yesterday from CNN, a network that does not like Tulsi Gabbard, put Tulsi Gabbard one step closer to qualifying for the debates in December and in November. Tulsi, on a roll. Now, the reason I wasn't going to say it yesterday about the Hillary Clinton thing is because New Hampshire, if I'm not mistaken, they allow independents and Republicans. Well, the national poll has shown Tulsi Gabbard, at least I had the national poll. Oh, right here. The national poll, Suffolk, USA Today, Biden 26%, Warren 17%, Sanders 13%, Buttigieg 10%, Gabbard 4%. This qualifies for the November and December debates. This makes her one step closer to those debates. She is one poll away from the November debate. And this gets her halfway to the December debate. Tulsi Gabbard is ascendant. Fascinating. Now, they make the point that Warren is cutting into Biden's lead. I'm not necessarily sure where Sanders was the last time around. The more interesting thing to me in this is that Gabbard is edging her way into the debates. I said when Hillary Clinton first came out and attacked Gabbard, this may work to her benefit. Don't get me wrong, it's somewhat of a disgusting smear to say that a woman who's working in our military, who's like a major in our military, is somehow working at the behest of a foreign power. It was a disgusting slur when they were using it for Trump, and most cannot back it up one iota, just like the gentleman on the radio show yesterday. But nevertheless, people hate Hillary Clinton's guts. And as such, it's almost like an anti-vote in interesting ways. The fact that Hillary Clinton came out against her created enough publicity because it was all over the airwaves that it backfired. Gabbard, 4%. Here's something else that's interesting. Kamala Harris has not qualified for the December debates yet. Meaning Kamala Harris is one poll away from the December debates. Frontrunner, Kamala Harris. And yet, in poll after poll, look at this. Harris is at 3%. She's at 3%. Tulsi Gabbard, the career ender, or the campaign ender. I think that's what I dubbed her, the campaign ender. Tulsi Gabbard. Shout out. This video is not to be long. It's just to kind of point out. Good job. People are, I don't quite understand why people don't get my position on Tulsi Gabbard. There's some Sanders supporters that think I'm too easy on her. There's some Tulsi supporters that think I'm too hard on her. She's not my candidate. I don't need her to be perfect. What I like Tulsi Gabbard for, my very specific reasoning for liking Tulsi Gabbard is A, she supported Sanders. And she had a backbone to do it. Meaning she gets a certain leeway with me just because back in 2016, she supported my guy when everything was against her supporting my guy. And the other person who was in the race, Warren, is now running against the guy that she wouldn't support, who was supposedly ideologically closer to her, while lying about the reasons that she didn't support him. So she gets a bit of leeway. On the secondary point, her position on foreign policy, oftentimes she says things that I absolutely agree with. Look at this. And I was going to do this in a separate video, but fuck it, we're here. Let's do this.
For National Guard duty this morning, but wanted to take a minute to mention something that's been in the news lately. Turkey's President Erdogan, as you know, is invading Syria, slaughtering the Syrian Kurds, and he's using terrorists from ISIS and Al-Qaeda as his militia. Now, this is something I've been warning about for years, that Erdogan's been assisting ISIS and other so-called jihadists in their quest to overthrow the Syrian government and establish a so-called Islamic caliphate.
Here's the catch. The majority of those guys were trained by us. We were backed by us. Meaning, even though now these alliances and everything else are shifting, ultimately, most of these guys were supported by us. Let's keep going.
Erdogan's denied this for years, but the fact that he is now openly and brazenly creating militias of radical Islamists, including so-called former ISIS and Al-Qaeda terrorists, exposes him for what he is. He's a radical Islamist megalomaniac whose goal is to establish an Islamist caliphate with himself as the caliph, the supreme ruler.
What about us, Tulsi? What about us? Is the objective, or was the objective of Obama to establish a caliphate using terrorists to do so? Now, of course, the answer is no. We just wanted to knock down Assad, and we were willing to use whoever we could to do so. Tulsi Gabbard has also called that out. Why wouldn't I like that? Honestly, engage to that. Why wouldn't I like that? I'm a Sanders supporter, but I hear that, and I think that's true. That's absolutely true. That's nothing you're going to hear on mainstream media per se. And Tulsi Gabbard has come out with the Stop Arming Terrorists Act, meaning she was very clear, even under Obama, that we were arming terrorists in Syria to knock down Assad. Now, for putting out that reality, truth, hashtag truth, they smeared her. Well, if you don't want us supporting terrorists to take down Assad, then you must be for Assad. Well, if that's your argument, that means that you must be for the terrorists. And I would wager to you that if you talk to the people in the region, do you want the head choppers backed by the United States that are raping and terrifying the population, forcing them into some kind of batshit crazy religious law? Or do you want Assad? They will say Assad. They will say Assad. Tulsi also introduced this. And I think I have a video on this, but yesterday I introduced House Resolution 662, a resolution that calls on the federal government to declassify and release information regarding September 11, 2001 attacks in order to ensure a full public understanding of what happened and who was involved. Though Al-Qaeda attacked us on 9/11, over 18 years, the American people still do not have the truth about Saudi Arabia and who helped Al-Qaeda carry out these attacks. The truth is being withheld from those families that were killed on 9/11 and from the American people. Full disclosure of these facts is not only necessary for these families, it is essential for our national security and to keep the American people safe. The Trump administration must put the interests of the American people first and release the information now. Why wouldn't I support that? That's awesome. And I put to you that, yes, there's an element of politics to this, because who in their right mind, from the standpoint of the American public, going to be against you opening files that may implicate Saudi Arabia in attacking us on 9/11? And what that means for the prior presidents, be it Obama or Trump, who went along with that after being aware of that. Why wouldn't I support that? It's not so much that I support Gabbard to win. My guy is Sanders. I don't think she can win. But I do want her on the debate stage because I do want this particular perspective spoken aloud. And if Gabbard is not on stage, that perspective does not get spoken aloud. If you want to call her a proxy, fair enough. She's my proxy. She's my sword on these very specific issues. And I definitely want her on that stage pushing Sanders to the left. That's my reasoning for supporting Gabbard, in a sense. So, Gabbard, in a nutshell, one poll away from November debates and halfway there to the December debates. Up 10%, up to 4. Good job. Send Hillary Clinton a thank you note. She did you a service. Like, share, subscribe. I'll be right back. Thanks all.